Yeah. Good morning, student. Uh, today, from today onwards, we'll start the module 5. In the module 5, it is the overview of micro manufacturing. This module contains introduction to micro manufacturing, micro manufacturing, surface micro matching, the Liga process, and the summary on micro manufacturing. A small module. It's a very small module. In the fourth module, what you have seen is we have seen the scaling loss in miniaturization. So that means how to minimize a MEMS component or how to minimize a microsystem, how to make a microsystem very small. So applying various laws. Okay. And if I'm applying the laws and if I'm making the things very small, next step is how to manufacture it. How to manufacture it. Okay. So now say if I say I want to design a micro sensor. So this micro sensor can be a pressure sensor. So it is of the size in terms of the micrometer. I want to design that. How to design that? So for that, so there are various technologies that are used. So one is the bulk micro manufacturing, surface micro matching, and finally the Liga process. Okay, so we'll see each one in detail. So each technique we'll study in detail. Okay, so now say I want to design. I want to design a mechanical system. So when I want to design a mechanical system, for a mechanical engineer, he has to decide or he has to select a particular fabrication technique. The fabrication technique can be machining, drilling, milling, welding, molding, casting. So they are the different fabrication technology used to design and develop a mechanical product. And whatever this fabrication technologies are there, any one of this cannot be used for the design of MEMS and microsystem. So that means the technique like welding, machining, drilling, molding, casting, so that cannot be used to design my MEMS or my micro system. So if all the technology cannot be used, then what is the technology so that is used to design a microsystem? So now the technique so that I used in the design of MEMS and the microsystem is called as micro matching or micro manufacturing. So it is very important. So now the technology is used, the technology which is used for the design of MEMS or microsystem is called as micro matching or micro manufacturing. So why? Because so my technique of drilling, welding, casting, molding, it cannot be used. So it cannot be used to design uh, a microsystem or to design a MEMS component. So now the technology for the design of MEMS or the microsystem is nothing but micro manufacturing or micro matching. So now I want to see what is this technology. I want to see what is this technology. So now this technology is similar to say, okay, so now this technology, so there are distinct micro matching technique so that are used in the current industry. So one is the bulk micro manufacturing, surface micro matching, and the Liga process. The Liga process. So that means my micro matching and micro manufacturing, they are further classified into bulk micro manufacturing, surface micro matching, and the Liga process. So these are the three technologies that are used to design MEMS and my micro system. So next what I need to do is I need to study each one separately. So what I'll do is I'll take bulk micro manufacturing first. If I'm taking the bulk micro manufacturing, now this technology is similar to designing of PCB. So designing of the PCB. So PCB is nothing but the printed circuit board. So in the design of the printed circuit board, so what I'll do is, say for example, I want to design a PCB board. Okay, so for that, I'll take a board. I'll take a board. Okay, now I'll say that this is the printed circuit board. Okay, so the initial board will be, so this complete layer will be of copper. So this complete board will be of copper. So now out of this board, say I want to design two layers, say one this layer and other one is this layer. So that means I want to retain only this blue or green, this layer. I want to retain this layer and I want to retain this layer, and I want to remove all the other part. So this part, and this part I want to remove. Okay, so now this is the design of the PCB. So that means if this complete board, this is made up of copper. This complete board is made up of copper, and out of this board, I want to maintain two layers or two line. I'll say two rectangular line, this line and this line I want to retain. So for that, what I'll do is I'll mask complete this layer, and at the same time I'll mask this layer also. So masking in the sense covering this entire rectangular layer or entire rectangular line. Similarly, this rectangular line with some layer, so that is nothing but masking, and putting this entire board into a chemical solution. Okay, so now after putting into the chemical solution, what will happen is this entire copper will be removed, and again similarly whatever the copper here it is removed, and again whatever the copper is entire removed here it is removed, and finally what I'll get at the end is what I'll get is the outer layer like this, and the inner layer. Okay, forget about the colors. Forget about the colors. Okay, so out of the entire copper board, I'll get only two layers: outside layer, outer rectangular line, and inside rectangular line. Okay, so this I'll get. So what I can do is, next I can make this as positive supply, and this I can make it as negative supply. I can make this as positive supply, and this I can make it as negative supply. Negative supply. So what I've done is, out of entire copper board, I removed all the other layers, and I have retained only this layer, this rectangular shape, and similarly this rectangular shape I have maintained, and I removed all the other parts. So this is something what you call as micro manufacturing. Micro manufacturing. So what is the process here? The process is removing the unwanted part and maintaining the required part. Removing the unwanted part and maintaining the required part. So that is the concept of micro manufacturing. Now this concept is similar to designing a sculpture, right? Now if you give a stone to a sculptor, so what he'll do is, say if you want to design Ganesha Murthy, he'll give a stone to him. So what he'll do, he'll remove all the unwanted part, and he will retain the shape of Ganesha. He'll retain the shape of Ganesha. So the same technology here. The same technology here. I'll remove all the unwanted part, and I'll maintain only the required part, or the required layer, or the required line, or required shape. So this I'll maintain. So this is called as micro manufacturing. This is called as the micro manufacturing. Okay, so that is nothing but micro manufacturing. So bulk micro manufacturing is widely used in the production of microsensors and accelerometer. So bulk micro manufacturing involves the removal of material from the bulk substrate, usually silicon vapors, to form the desired three-dimensional geometry of microstructure. So as I said, so what I'm doing is, I am removing the unwanted part. Okay, so I am removing the unwanted part, and I maintain what is the desired part. Okay, so now usually the material used for the micro in the design of MEMS or in the microsystem is basically silicon. Okay, so basically silicon. So now why silicon is mostly used in MEMS and in the design of the MEMS or the microsystem is, so because one basic advantage is it is mechanically stable and can be integrated into electronics. So that is the greatest advantage of silicon. So that means it is stable, it is mechanically stable and can be integrated into electronics. That is the first advantage. And second advantage is silicon structure. Okay, so structure is almost, it is the structure of steel. It is having the Young's modulus of 2 into 10 to the power 5 MPa. Okay, so that means the structure is, silicon structure is similar to the structure of silicon, and third advantage is it has the melting point around 1400 degree Celsius. Okay, so that is the third advantage. So the third advantage of silicon. So the first advantage is it is mechanically stable. It has a Young's modulus of steel, and it has a melting point of 1400 degree Celsius. So because of these three reason, my the silicon is used in micro manufacturing process. Okay, so if I'm using the silicon, now there's some the concept you need to understand. The first thing is the term the substrate. The substrate is commonly used in microelectronics as well as in MEMS and microsystem. Now, what is the substrate? So, substrate is nothing but it's a flat macroscopic object. It's a flat macroscopic object, and in microsystem, this substrate serves as signal transducer in addition to some electrical and mechanical action. Okay, so what is substrate? The substrate is nothing but it's a flat macroscopic object. It's a flat macroscopic object, and in the microsystem, it acts as a signal transduction in addition to the electrical and the mechanical output, or it can be vice versa. Okay, so now if I take wafer, what is wafer? So wafer is nothing but the substrate in a single crystal cut in slices. Okay, so what I'll do is I have a substrate. The substrate is nothing but silicon. And what is substrate? Substrate is nothing but a flat macroscopic object. So it's a flat microscopic object, and out of that, a single crystal cut in slices form a larger piece that is called as wafer. So that means it's a single crystal cut structure. Out of the substrate, it's a single crystal cut structure. So that is nothing but it's a silicon wafer. Okay, so now this technology, so the bulk micro manufacturing technology, at the origin, it was somewhere around 1700. 1700. The history says that out of 1 centimeter olive oil, there was a design consisting of a poet sitting with his servant, sitting with his friend and two servants in a boat. Imagine a poet, his friend, along with two servants sitting in a boat designed in 1 centimeter olive oil nut. So that means what he has done is he has taken 1 centimeter olive oil nut. Out of that, he has removed all the unwanted part, and he has retained the shape of one poet, his friend, two servant, and a boat. Okay, and this design is still there in China. So this is the concept of, although this is not technology related, but the origin. So the origin of micro manufacturing. The origin of micro manufacturing. Okay. Okay. So now what I need to do is, as I said, so if I am going for the bulk micro manufacturing, I need to remove all the unwanted part. I want to remove all the unwanted part, and if I want to remove all unwanted part, so what I need to do is I need to go either for physical or chemical technique, either by dry or wet etching. Either by wet or dry etching. So I taken the example of PCB board. So what I have to do is, if I want to maintain the two rectangular shape, for the positive and negative supply. I want to remove all the other layer and I want to maintain only the two rectangular layers. So what I have to do is the entire PCB board, out of that I want to mask the two rectangular layer, and I want to put into the chemical solution, so that after some time all the other layers will be removed and what is the masked layer, that will be retained. So that is the process of chemical etching, chemical wet etching. Okay, so now etching, so it can be my orientation dependent or orientation independent. So my etching can be orientation independent and can be orientation dependent. So for that, so now I need to study. So what is homogeneous? What is homogeneous material? What is isotropic material? And what is anisotropic material? What is anisotropic material? Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll take a rectangular structure. So I'll take a rectangular structure. Okay, say this is x direction, sorry, this is y direction, this is x direction, and this is something z direction, or something z direction. So this is x, this is y, and this is z. Okay, so now I'll take, so this is as a glass, this material as glass. So now if I take this as a glass material, okay, now this is as a glass. Okay, so if I take this as a glass material, and if I travel along x direction, and if I travel along y direction, and if I travel along z direction, if I travel along the z direction, if the composition is same, so that means now this is made up of glass. If the composition of the glass material is same along x direction, if it is same along y direction, and if it is same along z direction, this is called as homogeneous material. It is the homogeneous material. So that means the composition of the glass material is same along in all the direction, in all three direction, in all three direction. So this material is now called as homogeneous material. So now my glass, my metal, all they are homogeneous material. And similarly, if I take plywood, plywood is not homogeneous material. So why? Because in the plywood, the material composition is different along x direction, y direction, and z direction. Plywood, it is made up of different composition. So that is why its composition is different in three direction. Okay, so that is plywood is non-homogeneous material. Similarly, a powder coated steel, is non-homogeneous material. So why? Because it is powder coated. It is not a pure steel. It is powder coated. It's again its composition is different in three dimension. Okay, so that is non-homogeneous material. So now I have homogeneous material. Glass is a homogeneous material. Metal is a homogeneous material. Some type ceramic, they are the homogeneous material. Okay, so now if I take the homogeneous material, if the physical properties, if I take, say, the electrical conductivity, the thermal conductivity, the Young's modulus, they all know the physical property. If the physical property is same along X, same along Y, same along Z, it is called as isotropic material. It is called as isotropic material. So that means my material is homogeneous, the composition is same in all direction, and at the same time the physical property can be conductivity, electrical conductivity, thermal conductivity, Young's modulus. If the physical properties are same along X direction, same along Y direction, same along Z direction, it is called as isotropic material. It is called as isotropic material. Again, glass, metal, they are isotropic material. Okay. And if I take anisotropic material, in anisotropic material, my physical property is not same in X direction, in Y direction, and in Z direction. So that means my physical property, it is change. It will change in X direction, it will change in Y direction, and it will change in Z direction. So that is nothing but it is anisotropic material. Okay, so we have now homogeneous material, homogeneous isotropic material, and homogeneous anisotropic material. Okay, so different concept now. One is homogeneous material, homogeneous isotropic, and homogeneous anisotropic material. So now in the microsystem, for a substrate made up of homogeneous and isotropic material, the chemical agent, so the chemical agent will attack the material uniformly in all direction. Uniformly in all direction. So that means, so if I take this as an homogeneous isotropic material, this as homogeneous isotropic material, and this material I'll put in chemical solution. I'll put in the chemical solution, and after removing from the chemical solution, this material is uniformly attacked in all the direction. So it is uniformly attacked in all the direction. So that means my etching process is same. It is same in all the direction. Okay, it is same in all the direction. So this is for the isotropic. Okay, so in non-isotropic material, anisotropic material, the chemical etching may not be uniform. For example, here it may not be proper. My chemical etching may not be proper. Similarly, here it may not be proper. Chemical etching may not be proper. Okay, so this can be a possibility of chemical etching in anisotropic material. So why in anisotropic material? Because the physical property, it is not same in X, Y, and Z direction. It is not same in X, Y, and Z direction. Okay, so that is why I need to select a proper material, the proper material for the etching process. Okay, so we have seen the bulk micro manufacturing is widely used in the production of microsensor and accelerometer. So now bulk micro manufacturing involves the removal of material from the bulk substrate, usually silicon wafers, to form the desired three-dimensional geometry of the microstructure. Okay, so next, the shaping of microsystem component can be possible with the help of physical or chemical technique, either by dry etching or wet etching. Now, etching, it can be variation dependent, isotropic etching, or the orientation dependent anisotropic etching. Okay, so we have seen the orientation dependent, orientation independent isotropic etching, or the orientation dependent anisotropic etching. So that means I need to select a proper material, and I have to see whether it is isotropic or anisotropic. Okay, and if it is isotropic, I can make the particular, I can make the proper etching in all the 3 dimension, in all the XYZ direction, or if it is anisotropic, my etching orientation can be different. It can be different. So now see, this is the example. So this is the example of micro manufacturing. So see, I have a substrate here. Okay, so now I have a substrate. Okay, so now these 2 layer I want to retain. This layer I want to retain. Say this is protective resist. These 2 layer I want to retain. I want to remove this layer. I want to remove substrate. So what I'll do is, this is the chemical etching. I select a proper chemical solution and I'll dip this entire thing into the chemical solution. And after the chemical etchant, so what will happen is, now see here, the substrate is no more. The substrate is removed and I have only the protective resist. I have only this layer. So I have only this layer retained and all the other layer is removed. All the other layer is removed. So this is the chemical etching, where what I'll do is, I'll maintain the required part. And I'll remove the unwanted part. So now what will happen is, sometime is, what will happen, so you can see here, okay, so now this was perfectly rectangular shape, now you can see here, there's a small hole here. So why? Because my etching is not 100% in all the cases. If this layer is not masked properly, then there is a possibility, is that my chemical etching may damage the desired part. So this is one of the drawback. Of the chemical etching. Okay, so the unwanted, I have removed the some part of the desired part. Some part of the desired part. So it has to be a perfect rectangular shape. But you can see here, it is not a perfect rectangle. There's a small hole. So this has happened during the etching process. Okay, so that is the example told. Okay, so now what will happen is, so for the substrate made up of homogeneous isotropic material, the chemical etchant will attack the material uniformly in all the direction. Okay, so it will attack the material in all the direction. So this is orientation dependent etching. Okay, so it's referred as isotropic etching. Okay, so this means my itching is same in all direction. My itching, it is same in all the direction. So itching is same here. My itching is same here. So that is for a material. So for the homogeneous material, homogeneous isotropic material, the chemical agent will attack the material uniformly in all the direction. So this is orientation independent itching, and this is called as isotropic itching. Okay, so now the isotropic itching is hardly desirable in micro manufacturing because of lack of control of finished geometry of the workpiece. Okay, so now it is hardly desirable. So why? Because now there's a possibility of lack of control of finished geometry of the workpiece. So that means, so sometime what may happen is a the some part of the desired component may be removed during the etching process. For the etching process. So now for that, what I had to do is I had to go for now the orientation. I need to go for the particular orientation. So now which orientation is preferable? Which orientation is preferable? So for that, so now if you see the silicon structure, so silicon has a diamond cubic crystal structure. So the silicon has a diamond cubic crystal structure, and some part of the crystal are stronger and thus more resistant to itching. Okay, so now the some part of the crystal, they are very strong, and what they will do is the some part will offer more resistant to itching. So that means if I take silicon and if I go for the wet itching, my itching will not be 100% accurate. Why? Because the some part of the crystal are stronger and they offer more resistant to itching. So under this condition, what I need to do is I need to go for the particular orientation. Particular orientation. Okay, so now we can see here. So now if I take this as the silicon structure, if I take this as silicon structure or the cube, silicon cube. Okay, so now there is 100 plane. It is not 100. Strictly speaking, it is 100 plane. Similarly, 110 plane and 111 plane. 111 plane. So what is the meaning of this? So now for this, what I have to do is I'll take a silicon structure now. Silicon structure in the sense uh, the rectangular. Okay, so what I'll do is able to draw this. I'll, okay, so what I'll do is I'll I'll try to draw with the line. Now it's difficult, so I'll explain with the PPT only. See with this. Okay, this is rectangular. Not possible. Okay. This is y direction. This is z direction. Oh, sorry. Difficult to draw here. say this is y direction, this x direction, and this is z direction. Okay, so now this is the cubic crystal. Say I'll take this as a silicon cubic crystal. So now if I take this now, so now say what I want is, say now there is x, y, z. Okay, so now this is x, this is y, and this is z. So what I'll do is, say if this is my, say I'll take this face, this is the top face. If I take the top face, if I take the top face, this top face, in the top face it is 0, 0 and 1. Okay, so it is 0, 0, 1. Sorry, so I'll change, slightly change this direction. So I'll take this instead of y. Okay, so this is y. I'll take this as z. This as z. This as x. Okay, so x, y, z. Now if I take the top face, if I take the top face, in the top face my coordinate is x is 0, y is 0, but I have the z. So z equal to 1. If I take this as a unit scale, z is 1. So now the top face, it is called as 0, 0, 1. So this is 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay, so now this is the top face. Similarly, if I take the right face, so that means this face. If I take this face, now this face, this is y now, x is 0, y is 1, similarly z is 0. So this face will be again 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. So why? Because y is 1 and x and z, they are 0. And if I take the front face, so this is my front face, this is my front face. So in the front face my x is 1, so it is 1, 1, 0, 0. So x is 1, y is 0, z is 0. Okay. So similarly now if I take the diagonal face, so if I take the diagonal face, so that means this line and this is the diagonal face. So in the diagonal face it is 1, 1, 0. X is 1, y is 1, z is 0. Similarly, this diagonal face also 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0. And if I take the inclined, so inclined face, So in the inclined phase, what I'll get is all the this 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 all the inclined. So all the inclined I'll get, it is 1 1 1. Okay, so now this is how to represent a particular phase. Okay, so if this is the top phase, it is 0 0 1, and in the right phase it is 0 1 0. In the front phase it is 100. Diagonal it is 1 1 0, both the diagonal 1 1 0, and in the inclined, so the inclined is something like, it is a triangle. In the triangle it is 1 1 1. So that means I am identifying the coordinate, x coordinate, y coordinate, and z coordinate. Okay, so now that is with respect to the planes of the cubic structure of the cubic crystal, the planes of the cubic crystal. Okay, so now see here. So now if I take here, so if I take this as the rectangular now, okay, so now this, if I highlight, so now this is 100 plane. This is 100 plane. So this is x, this is y, and this is z. So this is 100. This is the front face now. This is the front face, 100 plane. Similarly, if I take the diagonal, it is 110 plane. So this we have seen only the diagonal plane, and inclined. This is something like an triangle now. The triangle, this is 1 1 plane. In the 1 1 plane. So what I have seen is in the front. Similarly, if I take top, the top is 0 0 1 plane. The top is 0 0 1 plane. Similarly, the right face, if I take, this is 0 1 0 plane, 0 1 0. Okay. So now in the micro manufacturing, only these three planes are preferable: 100 plane, 110 plane, and 111 plane. So these planes are preferable. And out of this, okay, so see here, so there are 100, 110, and 111 planes. In micro manufacturing, the 110 orientation is favored orientation. So I can select any three orientation. I can select any three orientation, or in addition to that, I can prefer the top orientation, the right face orientation, I can prefer, but 110 orientation is favored orientation. That means this orientation. So that means orientation along the diagonal is the preferred orientation. This is because in this orientation, the wafer breaks more cleanly than in the other orientation. So that means wafer breaks more cleanly. So that means if I take this as the orientation, along this as the orientation, and if I put this into a chemical etching, the final etched component, along this direction or along this plane, 110 plane, is perfect. Whereas if I take 100 plane and 111 plane, after etching, the each component may not be perfect. So that is why it is the 110 plane. It is the most preferable for the etching. And similarly, the 111 plane, it is the hardest or the toughest plane to treat. Why? Because this triangle orientation. It is very difficult to identify this plane. So all these are the corner point. So this plane, it is the toughest plane to treat. Okay. So now it is the 111 plane is the hardest to etch. So the disadvantage of anisotropic etching. So we have seen the isotropic etching, and what are the disadvantage of anisotropic etching is it is slower than isotropic etching. The etching rate is temperature sensitive. So that means it's a function of temperature. As I increase the temperature, the etching will become perfect. Okay. So see here, it requires usually temperature around 100 degree in the process. So that means as I increase the temperature, my etching will be perfect. So this is the disadvantage of anisotropic etching. Okay, so we'll stop here. Let me go through the points that we have discussed today. Okay, so now we have seen, so the whatever the mechanical fabrication techniques are there, maybe welding, casting, all that technique cannot be used in the micro system. And what is the technology? So the technology that is used for the micro manufacturing, or sorry, for the design of the micro system is nothing but micro matching or micro manufacturing. And there are three distinct micro manufacturing techniques, can be micro matching or micro manufacturing. So there are the three distinct technique. So one is the bulk micro manufacturing, surface micro matching, and the Liga process. And the bulk micro manufacturing is widely used in the production of microsensors and accelerometer. And bulk micro manufacturing involves removal of the unwanted part. So it's removal of bulk substrate, usually the silicon wafers, to form the desired three-dimensional geometry of the microstructure. Okay, so now the shaping of microsystem component can be with the help of pellicle etching or chemical etching, or it can be dry etching, or it can be a wet etching. So etching, it can be either orientation independent isotropic etching or orientation dependent anisotropic etching. So we have taken the example of etching where I'll be removing the substrate and I'll maintain the desired part. So what I need to do is I need to mask this layer and I have to put in the chemical solution. Okay, so next is the orientation independent etching is referred as isotropic etching. After that, we have taken the cubic structure, okay, the structure of silicon. Under that, we have seen the three planes, 100 plane, 110 plane, and 111 plane. And out of that, so 110 is the orientation, the best orientation for micro manufacturing, and 111 plane is the hardest or the toughest plane to treat. And the disadvantage of anisotropic etching is it is slower than isotropic, and etching rate is usually the temperature dependent, and usually it requires a temperature of around 100 degree Celsius in the process. Okay, so this is about the bulk micro manufacturing. Any doubt? Any doubt here?
No.
Okay, so in the V2 exam, the V2 exam can be write a short note on bulk micro manufacturing. Write a short note on bulk micro manufacturing. So under that condition, you have to mention what is micro manufacturing, So micro manufacturing is basically the maintaining the desired part and removing the unwanted part. So that is the micro manufacturing. And you can mention what is homogeneous material, isotropic, anisotropic material. And after that, this example of etching. Then the three structure, three plane, and in that plane, the 1-1 plane is preferable, and 1-1 plane is the hardest. And what are the disadvantage of anisotropic etching? So this, if you write, usually if I mark of 6 or 8, 6 or 8 mark question. Elaborate on bulk micro manufacturing. So in the next class, we'll see a surface micro matching. The next technology is the surface micro matching. Okay, so I'll end the class. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.